Welcome to Fractured Chaos.
You ever make a decision thinking it's just gonna be fun? No strings attached? Yeah, that was me. I agreed to a threesome with my girl, thinking it would spice things up. No big deal, right? Just one wild night. But I never expected it to change my whole life. I never expected him. And now I'm living a lie, sneaking around behind her back, risking everything. And the worst part? I think she knows. It started as her idea. My girl, Sasha, she's bold like that. Always looking for ways to keep things interesting. We've been together 3 years and honestly, things were good. Not perfect, what relationship is. But good, stable, comfortable. Maybe too comfortable. One night, after we'd finished dinner pasta she'd made from scratch, something she only did when she wanted to talk about something serious, she poured us both another glass of wine. The candlelight caught in her dark curls, shadows dancing across her face. That mischievous smile I'd fallen for years ago played at her lips. "Babe," she said, her voice casual but her eyes intense. "What if we brought someone else in? Just once, something different." I nearly choked on my wine. Someone else? Like another girl? She shook her head slowly, her eyes never leaving mine. "No, a guy." I set my glass down hard enough that wine sloshed over the rim. "A guy? You serious right now?" "Deadly." She reached for her phone. "And I already have someone in mind." I won't lie, I was hesitant. We're solid. I wasn't looking for different. 3 years together, and we'd never even joked about something like this. But she was excited, animated in a way I hadn't seen in months. And when she showed me a picture of the guy Devin, something in my stomach flipped. I ignored it, passed it off as nerves. He was not what I expected. Tall, athletic build, with this easy confidence in his eyes that somehow came through even in a photo. Sharp jawline, a smile that seemed to hold secrets. "How do you even know this dude?" I asked, trying to keep my voice neutral. "Friend of a friend," she said casually. Too casually. "He's cool, open-minded, and single." She paused, letting that sink in. "No complications." Right, no complications. Easy to say when you're not the one feeling whatever the hell I was feeling right then. "I don't know, Sash." She took my hand, her thumb tracing circles on my palm. "Look, it's just one night. If it's weird, we never have to do it again." Her voice dropped lower. "But what if it's amazing? What if it's amazing?" The question echoed in my head long after I'd reluctantly agreed. Long after she texted Devin to set up a night. Long after I'd convinced myself this was just going to be a crazy story we'd laugh about someday. I spent the next 2 weeks in a haze of anticipation and dread. Some moments I was hyped, excited even. Other times I'd catch myself in the mirror, wondering what the hell I was doing, if I was someone else entirely. And beneath it all was this current of something I wasn't ready to name. The day before, Sasha sent me Devin's number. "Just so you guys can get comfortable with each other," she said. "Break the ice." Our first text conversation was awkward, surface level. "What do you do?" "Accounting." "You into sports?" "Basketball mainly." "Been in Miami long?" 5 years. But by the end, something had shifted. There was this ease between us. Like we'd known each other forever. That night, I dreamed about him. Not sex, nothing like that. Just us talking, his laugh. The way his eyes crinkled at the corners. I woke up sweating, my heart hammering against my ribs. Just nerves, I told myself. That's all this is. The night came. Friday. Sasha had transformed our apartment. Dim lights, incense burning. She'd even bought new sheets, dark blue, high thread count. The kind you sink into. I'd never seen her so methodical, like she was setting a stage. Drinks were flowing, some smooth playlist in the background. Sasha wore this red dress that hugged every curve, her hair up to show off her neck. I'd put on my best jeans, a black button-up, trying to look casual but not too casual. And then the doorbell rang. Devin stood there, holding a bottle of tequila, dressed in dark jeans and a gray Henley that stretched across his shoulders. Up close, He was even more striking than his photo. Warm brown skin, close-cropped beard, eyes that seemed to see right through you. "Hey, man," he said, extending his hand. His grip was firm, warm. "Good to finally meet you." "Yeah, you too," I managed, my mouth suddenly dry. Sasha swooped in then, all charm and confidence, leading into the living room where she'd already set up shots. The first hour was surprisingly normal. We drank, we laughed, we talked about stupid TV shows, about music, about nothing and everything. I kept waiting for it to get weird, but it didn't. Until it did. I remember Sasha's lips on my neck, her hands all over me. The three of us had migrated to the couch, the tequila making everything warm and hazy. She kissed me deeply, then turned to Devin, pulling him closer. I watched them kiss, this strange heat building in my chest. Not jealousy, something else. Something that intensified when Devin's eyes met mine over Sasha's shoulder. He reached out, his hand resting on my knee, just that. Just his hand, warm and heavy, but the second Devin touched me, my whole body reacted in a way I wasn't expecting. Electric, immediate, consuming. The way he looked at me, the way he whispered, "Is this okay?" His voice low just for me. I should have said no, should have backed out then, but I nodded. And when his lips finally found mine, Sasha watching, her eyes dark with something between victory and desire, I was lost. It was just supposed to be one night, except it wasn't. A week later, I found myself texting him. Just checking in, I told myself, just being friendly after such an intimate encounter. No big deal. Except when he texted back within seconds, my heart rate doubled. And when he suggested grabbing a beer, I said yes before I could think twice. And when he texted back with a time and place, I didn't tell Sasha. At first, it was small things, a casual drink here, a late night convo there. I told myself it was just curiosity, that I was just figuring things out, that this weird energy between us was just the novelty of a new friendship forged in unusual circumstances. We met at this dive bar across town far enough from our usual spots that I wouldn't run into anyone I knew. I arrived first, claimed a booth in the back, ordered a beer to calm my nerves. When he walked in, the whole room seemed to shift. He spotted me immediately, like he'd known exactly where I'd be. Slid into the booth across from me, his knee brushing mine under the table. "Wasn't sure you'd actually come," he said, signaling the bartender for a drink. "Honestly? Me neither." He smiled then, slow and knowing. "Where does Sasha think you are?" The guilt hit me like a physical blow. "Working late." Devin nodded, taking a sip of his beer. "And are we just having a friendly drink? Or is there something else going on here?" The directness of the question knocked the wind out of me. I stared at him, at the calm certainty in his eyes, at the slight challenge in his posture. "I don't know," I admitted finally. "I just know I wanted to see you again." We talked for hours. About growing up, about our families, about the paths that had led us to that moment. About everything except what had happened that night at my place. What was still happening between us, unspoken but undeniable. When we finally left, standing awkwardly on the sidewalk, the night air cool against my flushed skin, he stepped closer. "I should get home," I said, not moving. "Probably," he agreed, also not moving. The tension between us was a living thing, pulsing with each heartbeat. "This is messed up," I whispered. "Completely," he agreed. And then he kissed me. "Just us, no Sasha." Something inside me snapped. All the confusion, all the denial gone in an instant, replaced by a clarity that terrified me. I kissed him back, desperate, hungry, like I'd been starving for this exact moment my entire life. When we broke apart, both breathing hard, he pressed his forehead to mine. "We need to figure this out." I know. But we didn't, not that night. Not the next week when we met accidentally at a coffee shop. Not the time after that when I told Sasha I was going to the gym but ended up at his apartment. We started sneaking around. Quick meets, stolen touches. The guilt was there, gnawing at me. But the thrill? The risk? It was intoxicating. I'd never felt so alive. So seen. With Sasha, I was Jamal. Dependable, steady, The guy with the 5-year plan. With Devin, I was someone else entirely. Someone freer, bolder, more myself than I'd ever allowed myself to be. Each time I swore it would be the last. Each time I went back for more. One night, after I'd been with him, I came home to find Sasha waiting up. She was curled on the couch, scrolling through her phone, but her posture was too stiff, too deliberate. "Hey," she said, not looking up. "Good workout?" "Yeah," I lied, heading for the shower, desperate to wash away the evidence of where I'd really been. Who I'd been with. "You've been going a lot lately," she observed, her voice carefully neutral. "Seeing results?" I froze, one hand on the bathroom door. "What's that supposed to mean?" She finally looked up, her expression unreadable. "Just an observation, babe. You're never home anymore." But Sasha's not stupid. She started noticing little things. How I was suddenly guarding my phone. How I started taking longer showers. How my eyes would drift away when she asked about my day. One night, she looked me dead in the eye and said, "You've been different lately." I laughed it off, played dumb. But I could tell she wasn't convinced. That same night, Devin texted me, "I think she's on to us." My blood ran cold. "What makes you say that?" "Just a feeling." "Be careful." Sasha started testing me, asking random questions at weird times, scrolling through my phone while I slept. One night, she even straight up asked, "Are you seeing someone else?" I should have said no. I should have played it cool. But something about the way she asked, the way her voice cracked, I felt trapped, cornered. I snapped back at her, got defensive. That was my first mistake. "Why would you even ask me that?" I demanded, voice too high, too quick. Her eyes narrowed. "Because you're acting like someone with something to hide." "Well, I'm not." I lied, the words bitter on my tongue. "Maybe you're the one hiding something." She recoiled like I'd slapped her. "What is that supposed to mean?" I didn't know. I was just lashing out, desperate to deflect. "Nothing. Forget it. I'm going to bed." The second mistake? I left my phone unlocked. I'd gone to the bathroom to splash cold water on my face to gather myself after our fight. When I came back to the bedroom, she was holding it, staring at the messages between me and Devin, messages that left no room for misinterpretation. "Who's Devin?" she asked, her voice eerily calm. My stomach dropped. "Sash. Because this Devin," she continued, scrolling through the messages, "seems very friendly." I stood frozen, watching my life implode in slow motion. But she didn't yell, didn't cry. She just smirked and whispered, "So, when were you gonna tell me?" That smirk haunted me. She wasn't mad. She wasn't crying. She was calm. Too calm. And that's when I realized that I underestimated her. The next day, Devin started acting weird, distant, not responding to texts. When I finally got him alone, cornering him after work at a bar we'd met at before, he confessed Sasha messaged him. "What?" I hissed, panic clawing at my throat. "What did she say?" He looked uncomfortable, shifting in his seat. "She told me she knew everything." My heart stopped. And she told me she wasn't mad. Yet. He paused, running a hand over his face. But here's the part that made me panic. She told him she had a plan. "A plan? What plan?" "She wouldn't tell me," he said, avoiding my eyes. "Just that she knew what she was doing from the beginning." From the beginning? What did that even mean? That night she sent me a video. No context, no message. Just an attachment. With shaking hands, I pressed play. It was Devin in bed. With her. Recent. Very recent. Judging by what he was wearing, the same clothes he'd had on when I'd confronted him earlier. I felt sick. My chest caved in. My hands shook. She was playing me. The whole time she was playing me. And the worst part, I still couldn't stay away from him. I showed up at his place unannounced, pounding on his door until he opened it, looking wary, unsurprised. "What the hell is this?" I demanded, shoving my phone in his face, the paused video visible on the screen. He stepped back, letting me storm into his apartment. Jamal, I can explain. Explain what? That you're sleeping with my girlfriend. After everything, I cut myself off, realizing the hypocrisy. I'd been cheating on her with him, and now he was cheating on me with her. The whole thing was twisted beyond recognition. It's not what you think, he said quietly, closing the door. Then what is it? I was furious. Furious that I cared so much. Furious that it hurt this badly. He took a step toward me, and all the rage in my body collided with something else. Something worse. Need. I kissed him, hard, desperate, and he let me. We fell into bed again. It was reckless. It was stupid. It was the most honest thing I'd done in weeks. And when it was over, lying there in the aftermath, I finally asked, "What did she say to you, really?" He hesitated, swallowed hard. Then he looked me dead in the eye and said, "She told me to keep you busy while she was setting you up." Setting me up? For what? But he just shook his head. "You need to talk to her, Jamal, now." I rushed home, heart pounding, mind racing. I needed to talk to her, to fix this, to understand what game we were all playing. But when I walked through the door, everything was gone. The drawers, empty, closet, cleaned out. All her stuff vanished. And on the bed, there was a single envelope. My name written in her perfect handwriting. I picked it up, hands shaking. Opened it. Inside was a single Polaroid picture of me and Devin together. Not from that first night. From later. From one of our secret meetings. Both of us clearly visible, unmistakable. The kind of photo that could ruin careers, families, lives. And written on the back, just 3 words. Check your email. I grabbed my phone, opened my inbox. And when I saw what she sent me, my entire world shattered. I knew before I even opened the email, it was bad. The kind of bad that makes your stomach drop before your brain can catch up. Sasha had played me, set me up. But what I didn't know, what I never saw coming, was that she didn't just want to ruin me. She wanted to keep me. And Devin? He was in on it the whole time. My fingers trembled as I clicked on the email. A single video attachment, no subject line, no message, just waiting. I hesitated, took a deep breath, then hit play. At first, it was static. Then Sasha's face appeared. Calm, beautiful, dangerous. "Hey, baby," she put. "If you're watching this, it means you found the picture. And if you found the picture, well, that means you've been a very bad boy." My chest tightened. My mouth went dry. "Relax," she cooed. "I'm not mad. In fact, I've never been more sure about something in my life." The camera shifted. My heart stopped. Devin, sitting beside her, smirking. Sasha ran a hand up his arm. "We need to talk." The video ended there. No explanation, no details. Just that cliffhanger, leaving me hanging by a thread. I called Devin immediately. "Where is she?" "At my place," he said simply. "She wants you to come over." "What the hell is going on?" A pause. "Just come, Jamal. It's time we all stop pretending." I barely remember driving over to Devin's place. My hands were sweaty on the wheel. My mind was spinning with possibilities, each worse than the last. When I got there, she was waiting, door unlocked, candles lit, like she had planned every second of this moment. Devin stood in the corner, arms crossed, watching me. No guilt on his face. No shame, just patience. "Sit down," Sasha said, gesturing to the couch. I sat, feeling like I was walking into an ambush. She leaned forward, eyes locked on mine. "You think you've been sneaking around, Jamal? You think I didn't notice?" I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. "I knew from the moment you looked at Devin." She tilted her head. "I knew before you did." My stomach twisted as the implications sank in. "Knew what?" "That you were attracted to him," she said simply. "That underneath all that confidence, all that certainty about who you are and what you want, there was this curiosity." I felt exposed, transparent, like she'd been reading my thoughts all along. "I had a theory," she continued, "that maybe, just maybe, My man wasn't as straight as he thought. My pulse roared in my ears. This couldn't be happening. This conversation wasn't real. So I tested it, she said, her voice silk smooth. And guess what, baby? You failed. I shot a look at Devin. He didn't look guilty. He didn't look like someone who'd been using me, manipulating me. He looked concerned, caring, even. You planned this? My voice cracked. All of it? Not all of it, Sasha admitted. The threesome, yes. Introducing you to Devin, yes. But I didn't know if you'd actually go behind my back. I hoped you'd be honest with me about your feelings. A flicker of hurt crossed her face. But when you didn't, when you started lying, that's when I knew I needed to force your hand. I felt sick, used. So what was this? Some kind of fucked up test? No. Devin spoke up for the first time. It was an intervention. Sasha nodded. You've been living with this part of yourself locked away for so long, Jamal. Fighting it. Denying it. Her voice softened. I love you. All of you. Even the parts you're afraid to face. I couldn't process what I was hearing. So you... What? Set me up to cheat on you? To humiliate myself? How's that love? I set you up to finally be honest, she corrected. With me. With yourself. And what about him? I jerked my head toward Devin. Was he just a prop in your little experiment? Devin stepped forward then, coming to sit on the coffee table in front of me, close enough that our knees touched. No, Jamal. I'm very much a real person. With real feelings. For me? I sounded incredulous, even to my own ears. For both of you, he said quietly. I looked between them, realization dawning slowly. Wait, are you two? No, Sasha shook her head. Not like that. We're allies, friends. She reached for my hand. We both care about you. We both want you to be happy. By deceiving me, manipulating me, by pushing you toward the truth, Devin corrected gently. What do you want? I rasped, feeling cornered, desperate. Sasha glanced at Devin, then back at me. I want you to admit it. Silence. Admit what? I forced out, though I knew. Of course I knew. She leaned closer. That you want him. My whole body locked up. This was the moment. The point of no return. Once those words left my mouth, I could never take them back. Never go back to the person I thought I was. My voice failed me. Because if I said it, it became real. All of it. The desires I'd been burying. The truth I'd been running from long before Devin, before Sasha, maybe my whole life. The room felt like it was closing in. Sasha was too close. Devin was watching too intently. Both waiting for something I wasn't sure I could give. I started again, then stopped. And then Devin spoke. Jamal. Just my name, but it shattered something inside me. Some final wall, some last defense. He stepped forward, slowly, gave me every chance to pull away. I didn't. He cupped my jaw, thumb, brushing my lip. My breath hitched. Sasha's voice was warm. It's okay, baby. Just let go. And I did. I kissed him. Not with guilt, not with shame, but with need, with relief. With the profound recognition of something I'd been denying my whole life. Sasha exhaled like she'd won the lottery. See? She whispered. I was right. When we finally pulled apart, my whole body felt like it had been rewired. Like I'd finally stepped into a truth I hadn't even realized I was running from. Sasha sat back, smug but somehow also tender. It wasn't about tricking you, Jamal. It was about giving you space to discover this part of yourself without having to announce it first. By making me think I was cheating on you, I still couldn't wrap my head around her methods. I know it was extreme, she admitted. But would you have ever allowed yourself to explore this otherwise? Would you have given yourself permission? She had a point, and we all knew it. So here's the deal, she said. You have two choices. I swallowed, bracing myself. 1, we pretend this never happened. We break up, go our separate ways, and you figure yourself out, alone. The thought made my chest ache. After 3 years, after everything we'd built together, after this revelation that had turned my world upside down, the idea of facing it all without her. Or, I rasped. She smirked. Or, we stopped fighting it, we stopped sneaking. We stopped lying, and we just be together. All of us. The words hit me like a truck. You mean a throuple, Devin said smoothly. You, me, Sasha. A relationship. Real, open, honest. My head spun with possibilities, with fears, with hope. But would that even work? 3 people? 2 guys and a girl? I don't even know if I couldn't say the word. Not yet. Bisexual. Sasha supplied gently. You don't have to label it, Jamal. Not now, not ever. What matters is what you feel. Who you want. She took my hand, placed it on Devin's chest, over his heart. And it's pretty clear you want him. I couldn't deny it. Not anymore. And you're okay with that? With sharing me? She laughed, to sound rich and genuine. Baby, I've been sharing you for weeks. The difference is, now I get to be part of it. Now we get to build something together. Something real. Plus, Devin added, his eyes warm, who says it's just about sharing you? The implication hung in the air. Tantalizing. The 3 of us intertwined in ways I'd only just begun to imagine. I don't know, baby. Sasha echoed his thoughts, shrugging. But wouldn't it be fun to find out? I should have said no. I should have run. I should have clung to the version of myself I'd spent 28 years constructing. The straight guy, the normal one. The man with the clear, linear path ahead of him. But looking at them, both of them. One familiar and beloved, one new and intoxicating. I realized something. I never stood a chance. So I exhaled, nodded, and whispered, okay. Sasha grinned. Devin smirked. And just like that, we stopped being a secret. It started being something new. The first few weeks were awkward. None of us had done this before. There were no rule books, no guidelines. We were making it up as we went along. Practical questions came first. Where would we live? How would this work logistically? Did we tell people or keep it private? We decided to take it slow. Devin kept his place but stayed over most nights. We told only our closest friends, the ones we knew wouldn't judge. We established boundaries, had endless conversations about feelings, about jealousy, about what we each needed to feel secure. There were hiccups, of course there were. The first time I saw Devin kiss Sasha, really kiss her, not as part of some 3-way encounter, but just casually, coming home from work, a bolt of jealousy shot through me. Not because he was kissing my girlfriend, but because she was kissing, what? My boyfriend? The word felt foreign, thrilling, terrifying. Sasha noticed immediately. She always did. You okay, baby? Yeah, I lied. Then remembering our promise of honesty. No, I don't know. This is all so new. That night, the 3 of us sat down, talked it out, set more boundaries, promised to check in more. And slowly, something beautiful began to emerge from the chaos. Mornings became my favorite. Sasha making coffee, dancing to whatever was on the radio. Devin making eggs, casual and shirtless, stealing kisses from both of us between flips of the spatula. Me watching them, marveling at how something that had seemed so impossible now felt so natural. The sex was incredible, sometimes all 3 of us, sometimes just 2 while the 3rd was working or out. But it was the other moments that surprised me, the quiet ones. Watching movies together, all tangled up on the couch. Game nights that dissolved into inside jokes and laughter. The way Devin always seemed to know when I needed space and Sasha always knew when I needed to talk. We balanced each other in ways I'd never anticipated. Sasha's boldness, Devin's steadiness, my practicality. 3 puzzle pieces that somehow made a perfect whole. Of course, the outside world wasn't always as accepting. My parents were confused, hurt at first. My dad didn't speak to me for 3 months. Some friends drifted away, uncomfortable with what they didn't understand. But others surprised me. My brother, who I'd feared would judge me most harshly, simply asked, "Are you happy?" And when I said yes, the most honest yes I'd ever given, he nodded. Then I'm happy for you. Sasha's family was more immediately accepting, having known about her fluid sexuality for years. Devin's situation was more complicated, estranged from his religious parents. He had built a chosen family that embraced us readily. Work was its own challenge. We kept things professional, separate. As far as my colleagues knew, I was still just with Sasha. Devin was a good friend who came to company events. It wasn't perfect, but it was what we needed to do. 6 months in, we hit our first real crisis. Devin got offered a job in Seattle, a dream opportunity. The kind you don't turn down. I have to take it, he said, his face torn between excitement and dread. But I don't want to leave us. Sasha and I exchanged a look. We'd grown so used to this arrangement, this beautiful, complicated dance of three. The thought of going back to just us seemed incomplete. So don't leave, Sasha said simply. We'll come with you. My head snapped up. What? Why not? She challenged. My design work is remote anyway. And you've been talking about wanting a change. It was crazy. Appending our whole lives for this relationship that was still so new, so untested. But the alternative, going back to what we were before, seemed impossible now. 2 months later, we moved to Seattle. Got a bigger place with room for all three of us to have space when we needed it. Started fresh where no one knew our story, where we could just be together without explanations. It wasn't perfect. It still isn't. There are still days when I wake up questioning everything. Days when jealousy rears its head, when old insecurities surface. Times when one person feels left out, when balance is hard to find. But then there are the other days, the ones where I wake up between them, warm and safe and whole in a way I never knew was possible. The nights when we talk for hours, planning futures, sharing dreams. The moments when I catch them looking at each other with the same love they show me. And I realize that what we have isn't about dividing love into smaller parts, it's about multiplying it. 1 year to the day after that first fateful night, the threesome that changed everything, Devin and I were sitting on the balcony of our Seattle apartment. Sasha was inside on a work call. The rain had just stopped, the city gleaming wet beneath us. Do you ever regret it? He asked suddenly. Any of it? I thought about it. About the lies, the sneaking around. About the painful confrontations, the difficult conversations. About what I'd given up and what I'd gained. No, I said finally. I regret how we got here. I regret not being honest sooner. But this, I gestured between us toward Sasha inside. I could never regret this. He smiled, reaching for my hand. Me neither. Sasha joined us then, wrapping her arms around both our shoulders. What are my boys plotting out here? Just reflecting, I said, pulling her down onto my lap. On how we got here. She laughed, that rich sound that still made my heart skip. You mean my brilliant if slightly manipulative plan? I still can't believe you orchestrated all that. Devin shook his head, but he was smiling. Well, she said, looking pleased with herself. I had to do something drastic. You were both so stubborn, and you had to include the whole fake cheating scenario. I raised an eyebrow. She had the grace to look slightly embarrassed. That part got a little out of hand. I just needed to create a situation where you'd be forced to confront your feelings. She kissed me softly. I'm sorry for the pain it caused, but not for where we ended up. None of us could argue with that. As the sun set over the city, casting everything in a golden glow, I looked at the two people who had turned my life upside down, who had helped me find a truth I'd been running from, who had shown me that love doesn't always look the way you expect it to. What had started as one wild night had become my whole life. A life I never could have imagined, never would have chosen for myself. A life that had found me anyway. And as Devin's hand found mine, as Sasha's lips brushed my neck, I realized something profound. Sometimes the best parts of our stories are the ones we never saw coming. The ones that shatter our boundaries, break open our hearts, and rebuild us into someone new. Someone real. Someone whole.